You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast, where I'm helping you become the best notary and signing agent you can be. I'm your host, DVO Derek Van Otten, and I'm so happy to be with you one more time. I am excited about this episode because I have recently, just this week, had conversations with two of my friends who are signing service owners and explaining to them how I am operating and running my business through the Google ecosystem and how beneficial and how helpful it has been for me and my schedulers, because it has just made our life easier. So I thought I would share with all of you, what is the Google ecosystem? What is Google Workspace? Let's dive into it. Let's get into it. Let me tell you what it is and why I use it, because it has really helped our business. The reason why I've been using Google for quite a while, but the reason I've started adapting a lot more of the Google Workspace is because I have added another scheduler to my team. So I now have a 3-member team. So I'm trying to make things much simpler for all of us that work together. Now, me and one of my schedulers, we all use Apple products, and another one of my schedulers use Windows. So we couldn't really do everything the same because of the different platforms. And that's okay. I am just now incorporating a lot more of it, and because there are more of us, I just wanted to kind of just share what it is that we're doing to make our lives easier. So whether you are a signing agent only, or if you're running a signing service, or you plan on running a signing service in the future, this I hope will bring you a lot of value. And if it does bring you a lot of value, all I ask is, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to the podcast platforms, and share it with others so that they might also get the same value you are getting. That's all I ask. Okay, so I got my computer up because I'm going to be referencing it for my notes to make sure I get everything covered. But if you are not familiar with Google or Gmail or any of that, then you need to climb out from under your rock, all right? This is just the platform that I like to use. I just find it so much more simple, and I'm all about making my life and business simple, okay? And one of the signing service owners that I was talking to, she's not a big fan of Google, and she's using another platform for her email. She's using Outlook. And I said, well, does Outlook have some of these things? And she goes, actually, I think they do. I said, there you go. So I'm just, this is just what I'm using. I'm just sharing with what I'm using. I like this. I've been using Gmail for, oh goodness, I don't know, 15 years. I've been using Gmail, I think. So for quite a while, I really liked I'm talking about my personal Gmail, right? So I got a Gmail account, and then I was able to use like Google Drive. I liked using Google Drive, and then I got Google Voice. So if I needed to make phone calls and I wanted them separate from my phone number, I was using Google Voice. And obviously I use YouTube, and that's which is owned by Google. And then at some point I got a Android phone, which is again owned by Google. Android is owned by Google, and so a lot of these apps are already pre-built in. I just said, oh, this just makes sense. So I was using Gmail for over 15 years, and Google, I was using Google to do research, to search things online for, I don't know, 20 years maybe. So I want to share with you what I'm using, all the apps that I'm including that just makes my business run smoothly. All right. So, and I'll explain why I've used some of these. So let's get into it. First of all, I wanted to buy a domain. I wanted a domain because I wanted a website. I just thought it would make me look more professional. It helped me stand out. So I wanted a domain. Google had domains. They no longer do. Google no longer sells domains. So you have to go to GoDaddy, Squarespace, places like that if you want to buy a Wix. You have to go places like that to buy a domain now. But a few years ago when I started my company, as a signing agent, I wanted a domain. So I bought my domain through Google, which was peaksigning.com. So I bought that domain. And I then could get my Gmail with my handle. So, my email is dvanoten@peaksigning.com because I had already bought my domain through Google. Now, again, Google no longer sells domains at the time of this recording, but you can still get Gmail with the business handles at whatever your signing service is, whatever your company is as a notary. And you don't have to. If you want to keep everything free, that's totally fine. If you want to have the notary gal, notary boss, the notary guy, Derek the notary, whatever you want to do, and use a free Gmail, like my brother Dale that's been on the podcast. His signing service is Little Valley Signings. So his is littlevalleysignings@gmail.com. Free. He's just using the free version. That's nothing wrong with that either. I am just using the business version. I wanted to look very, very professional because I was looking at the real estate agent, the loan officer, the escrow officer, the lawyer. All of them have professional handles. And I also wanted to look very professional. That's just my opinion. But I don't hate on anyone that's trying to use a free version, especially as you're getting started. So that's what I have. And I'm going to actually share what I do to keep things mobile too, because I'm talking about the desktop, but I'm also going to talk about how I use my cell phone for business also. Let's continue. I bought my domain through Google, but that's fine. You can just buy your domain wherever you want, if that's the route you want to go, and you can still go to Google to get your professional email at your whatever handle it is. Another reason why I liked Google is because Google Business. You want a Google Business page. You want people to find you, right? SEO, search engine optimization. When people are searching for a notary, you want your name, your business to pop up. That's another reason why I got Google. I just wanted everything kind of working together. That's what I was hoping for anyway. I wanted everything to kind of work together. So I got my Google domain, I got my Gmail, and then I got Google Business set up. And you put what service you provide, you put your hours, you put pictures, different things like that. That is all on my Google Business page. And you can create posts and you can get reviews. That's the thing we're really looking for, right? On our Google Business page is getting reviews. So that is why I have incorporated all of it together. So I've got my Google domain and I have my Gmail and I've got Google Business now all set up. I'm going right. Again, you can still do this on the free versions, by the way. This is all totally fine on the free versions. So this is what I have up. This is what I've got up so far. Let's continue. Other great apps that are in Google is Google Meet. For example, my schedulers, one actually doesn't live too far from me. One does live kind of far away from me. And we can do meetings through Google Meet. So we can all get on the computer and have a meeting. Now, I'm paying the Google domain. I believe it's $12 a year for my domain. And so, $1 a month, not too crazy. And then I'm paying, I believe, $6 to $7 per email. So there's my personal email, dvanoten, and then I have another email for my schedulers, which is orders at Peak Sign. Again, you can do whatever you want. I'm just telling you exactly what I am doing. I have two Gmails. So I am paying $12 a year for my domain and about $6 to $7 a month per email address. So I'm paying around, let's just say, with tax, around $15 a month for my emails, my two emails, and about $1 a month if I break it down monthly for my domain, for my website. Okay, so that's what I've got so far. I've got my domain, I've got my Gmail, I've got Google Meet. So if I want to do a meeting, we have our camera and we can just get on real quick and have a meeting with all of us together at the same time. So that's something we can do. I've got my Google Business page where people can look at my hours, and they can see pictures, and they can leave reviews. So that's there as well. I've got Google Sites. So Google Sites is where I can edit my website. So I've got peaksigning.com. And there I can make changes to it. I can, like, for example, we just recently changed our phone number. So I could go to my Google business page, change my phone number, go to my Google website, and update my phone number there. Then I've got YouTube. So YouTube, if you don't know, is where you can get videos, or maybe where you are watching this video. But I pay for Google YouTube. I don't know why I said Google YouTube. That was a weird thing to say. I pay for YouTube. That's about $15 a month. It gives me, it's no commercials, and it comes with music. So if my schedulers wanted to get on and listen to music without commercials, they can, or they can watch, if they want to listen or watch a podcast on YouTube, they can go right there and there's no commercials. They can just watch that, or listen to that, I should say, because they're not watching it. They're maybe listening while they're working. Because I want to make them comfortable, you know. So if you've had a job where you can listen to music, you know, sometimes it makes the day a little bit easier. So they've got YouTube where they can listen to music or watch or listen to videos in the background as they're working. So I've got YouTube. Plus, obviously, this is where I upload my YouTube videos. And I can respond to you when any of you leave comments. I can respond, and I do respond to every comment. So just know, if you have left me a comment and you haven't checked back, I have responded to you. So just as you know. And now sometimes I don't respond right away. It takes me a week or two before I respond sometimes, but I do respond to every video. All right, next I have that I'm using in the Google Workspace is Google Maps. Because sometimes a client, as a signing service, will ask me, hey, we need a notary in this area, and I've never heard of this area. And I'm sure my schedulers have never heard of a certain area. So Google Maps is there. And we can log in and look at certain places in the country. And we can also look exactly where notaries are, because most platforms will give you directions from the signing location to the notary. But it's as the crow flies. It's a straight line. We all know most of the time we are not driving in a straight line to the appointment. We are taking roads, and we are going around mountains, and we are going through cities, and we are going through rural areas. And so it's not exactly accurate. So I like Google Maps, which is all there, because we can look exactly the signing location and the notary's house and say, how long does it take? Because, for example, the platform where you're currently using is Signing Order, it might say, oh, they're only 8 miles away. Not too far, right? But then when we map it, well, that's a straight line. They're 8 miles away. But they're not driving a straight line. They're actually going to be driving a different, they have to take a route. It's actually 26 miles. And it's not only a 6-minute drive, it's a 30-minute drive. So that's why we use Google Maps. We can look exactly. Plus, I recently had a notary where I said, hey, I need some help in this area. He said, well, this is my fee because it's going to be over an hour drive. I go, no, it's not. It's a 35-minute drive. He's like, no, to that area, it's an hour drive. I'm looking. I said, is your address still this? He said, yeah. I'm looking on the map from your house to their house. It's exactly this many miles and this much time to drive there. He's like, oh, okay. Well, then I can do it for this fee. So that's another reason too. All right. I use Google Maps. So signing service owners, schedulers, that's a great tool to use because you can know exactly how long it takes to get to the appointment. And if you're looking for an area, there you go. You can look exactly where the area is. So I like Google Maps. And again, whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone, these apps you can have Google Maps, you can have YouTube, you can have Google Sites, you can have Google Admin, you can have Gmail, all on your phone too to monitor everything. Okay? So these are some of the apps I'm using right now for our business, for our signing service business, making our job and life easier. Now I'm going to get into some more of it right here. I'm going to go into 3 more here. I'm going a little deep into these ones because these are the ones that we really use a lot day to day. And these are the 3 that I was talking with my signing service owner friends about this week. The next one is Google Calendar on our computer. I have an iPhone. My 2 schedulers have iPhones. So the map that we use on our phones is whatever Apple has, iCloud Calendar. But I want us all on the same page. So we use the calendar on our computer through Google Calendar, and we can put in all of our orders. And in my calendar on my phone, I can have multiple calendars. So I've got On my personal cell phone, I have 3 calendars synced up, and they're color-coded. So I have personal appointments on my calendar, and these are color-coded blue because blue is my favorite color. And so they're color-coded blue. So blue being, oh, I have a doctor appointment. I have a field trip with the little one. I've got whatever, errands I'm running. I have a meeting. I have a Zoom call. So these are all in my personal calendar. I'm going to a football game. These are, in my calendar, in my phone, and I can see those. And then I have my wife's calendar synced up, and hers is purple, which is my second favorite color. So I color-coded hers purple in my phone. I'm like, oh, that's my wife's calendar. Oh, she's got an activity with the kids. Oh, she has an activity with her girlfriends. So I'm probably not going to make plans for myself, because if she has plans with her girlfriends, that means I'm probably watching the kids. So, okay, great. So if I get invited to something, I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me check with my wife because she's got something already. Let me see what her plans are. So we have each other's calendars synced up to our phones. And we've got our business calendar, which is color-coded orange because that's our company color. Our company color is orange. And so I can look at my calendar on my phone or on my computer and look at all the appointments we have. These are all the signings we have scheduled. These are all my appointments I have scheduled. These are all my wife's appointments we have scheduled. And all my schedulers can go on the computer and just update the calendar. And I get it in real time on my phone if I'm ever looking at my phone and seeing what we got going on. So Google Calendar has been very helpful for us. And again, you can color code it. You can add different calendars. So if you already have an Android, you can color code it. And you can say, okay, these appointments are for my notary business. These appointments are for my personal. You can kind of keep things a little color coded, keep things a little separate. And you can have those on your phone. And if you are running a signing service or plan on running a signing service, then boom, you have it all also on your desktop and that your schedulers have access to. Now, I'm saying schedulers, so let me also talk about what I'm doing. Every computer has abilities to have different users on the computer. And for example, when I log in, it's just under my name, Derek. But also on my computer, I have a different user, which is my wife's. My wife can use the same computer. She just logs in under her user. Now, my schedulers, they've already have their own user on their computer. Now they have to add another user, which is our company, and that's why they go in and have these different access here. So but then when they're done, they log off and they can switch users and do their own personal stuff on their computer. What's also great too is because I have access to Google Admin. If they quit, like I've had schedulers quit, they've moved or done other things, and I can now remove their device from access to it. So I'll repeat that. My schedulers on their computer have their own personal user on there. Now they have to set up another user, which is the business, and they have access to all these items. But me as the admin, I can remove them with access. So if they quit or I have to terminate them, then I can remove their access to these. Okay? That's what's happening. Excuse me. So this is Google Calendar. This has been very helpful to color code things and keep things separate from business and personal and to see what's going on. And I have access to it on my phone because, again, my phone is an iPhone and I just add the calendar to my iPhone calendar. And there we go. It's all color coded. Next is Google Voice. Hold on one second. Sorry. Had to clear my throat there. Okay, the next is Google Voice. Now, for a while, I was using the free version of Google Voice. The free version allows you to it's limited, but you can make phone calls and send text messages. The problem with the free version of Google Voice is that when you're getting a phone call, you don't know who's calling you. It just shows you your Google Voice phone number. Once you answer it, or if you missed a call, you can go to the Google Voice app, because this is an app, and you can get this on any phone. And you can look at your call history and see who called you. Now, text messages, again, I have an iPhone, so the Google Voice app sends the notification of you got a text message or you missed a call or you received a voicemail, and I go to the Google Voice app to look at it all. I say, okay, who texted me? I can text back, and who called, and I can call back, and who left a voicemail. But at the time they're calling me, I don't know who's calling me. It just shows me my Google Voice phone number. Now, we were doing that for a while. When I just had one other scheduler, she also had the Google Voice app on her phone. And so she could answer it on her phone, or I can answer it. Either one of us could answer a phone call. Either one of us can reply to a text, and we could see the whole history. But one thing I didn't like, though, one thing I did not like was, let's just say we have a closing on a Saturday, and my scheduler is not working on a Saturday, but I am, and we're getting a phone call. This just happened yesterday. Actually, today's Sunday. I'm recording this on a Sunday. And I'm recording this on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, all you mothers out there. But yesterday, Saturday, we had 2 closings happening. And both notaries called me with questions, of course, right? During the week, I hardly get many questions during the signing. But of course, on a Saturday, that's where we have questions, of course. That's okay. That's what we're here for. Both notaries called me, and I was able to answer their questions. But I always felt bad that on a Saturday morning, when my scheduler's having the day off, she might be getting text messages and phone calls. And I just, I didn't like that. So I just don't think it's fair. It's their day off. So, but I had the free version, and I liked the free version. But now with 3 of us, me and 2 schedulers, I didn't want to grant access to another person's phone. I just thought I felt bad. So I am now paying for Google Voice because I have Google Workspace, which is a business platform on Google. I have to use the paid version. That's $10 a month. So now I'm looking at about $10, $11 a month with tax for Google Voice, and about $14, $15 a month for 2 emails that I'm paying for. And then Google Domains, which is $12 a year, so about $1 a month. So that's where I'm about now using Google. Oh, and Google YouTube. I don't know why I said that again. YouTube. And YouTube. You don't have to pay for that. People can have commercials. I just post and I use YouTube a lot. So for me, it makes sense to not have commercials. I pay for that. Anyway, Google Voice, I'm paying $10 a month. The nice thing about paying $10 a month is now on my phone, when I'm getting a phone call, it does show me the number who's calling me now. So that is nice. Again, before on the free version, it was just showing my Google Voice number was calling. I don't know who's calling, so I'm just answering it. But now I can see exactly who's calling. So that's one nice thing about that's one nice thing about the paid version. I can now see who is calling. Another thing that's really nice is Google Voice, I grant access to be on my phone only and on the web. So when my schedulers are on the computer. So now they don't have anything on their phone. They're not getting phone calls and text messages when they're off. Now when they log in and they open up Google Voice and they open up Google Calendar, and boom, when phone calls come in, they can answer it. I got them all headsets. If we get a text message, they can type on their keyboard much faster than they could typing on a phone. We all know that. So it's much faster to type on a keyboard. They can respond to text messages or send text messages to notaries, no problem. And it just makes things so much easier. Because now I know when I get a phone call, is this business related or is this personal? And that's one good thing about Google Voice. Again, you can use the free version or you can pay $10 a month for it. It's probably one of the cheapest options for a second phone line, by the way. And you have it on your phone. So now when you get phone calls or text messages, they're basically separate. You can separate business from personal text and phone calls. And I know, because I know some people have 2 phones. They use 2 phones, one for business, one for personal. And I couldn't imagine carrying 2 phones. There's no way I want to do that. But now I have 2 phones in one device. I've got text messages and phone on my cell phone. Then I have the Google Voice app for business text messages and phone calls. $10 a month. Totally worth it. I wish I would have done this sooner, actually, because it does make things much, much easier. So that is a great tip. Whether you are a signing service or if you're just a signing agent, you want to keep things separate, pay $10 a month and get Google Voice. that's just what I'm doing. The next one that I wanted to share that I use a lot, that me and my schedulers use a lot, is Google Drive. If you're not sure what Google Drive is where you can have PDFs stored. It's a storage area, basically. And you can have documents, and you can have spreadsheets, and you can have slides like PowerPoint, and you can create slides and different things like that. We use it for a lot of different things. So one of the signing service owners' friends I was talking to this week was asking me, like, what are you doing with Google? Like, what's the point of Google Drive? I'm like, well, I have a lot of things in here. So I'll show you what I have. Again, you can have this on your phone. This is an app. All of these are apps that you can have on your phones. There's even Google, oh gosh, what's it called? Google Keep, Google To Do, something like that. It's like a to-do list. And I can create a to-do list too. Like, hey, I have a to-do list. I've created it. Hey, you guys, all right, schedulers, hey, there's some things I want you guys to do today. And it's in the to-do list. Go ahead and work on those things. Like, I can make a to-do list for them that they can see too. There are a lot of apps on here. I mean, let me look at all the apps you can have. Extra that I maybe haven't even mentioned yet. Google Chat. You have Google Groups. Create Google Ads, photos. Keep, oh my, Google Earth, news articles. I mean, if you wanted. Travel. And these are all things that are part of Google Password, where you can save passwords on here. I mean, there's so much. There's so much that you can do. I'm just saying these are things that we do on a day-to-day basis to run our business. And Google Drive is one of those. So Google Drive, what I've got in here are just so many things. I'll name some of the things. Not everything. I won't name everything, but maybe some of the things that I use, and then some of the things that my schedulers might be using. So I have a folder here for credentials. These are my credentials. Right? It's my W-9, it's my E&O insurance, it's my bond, it's my driver's license. It's my NNA background, it's my LSS certification. So these are some of the credentials. I put a credentials folder, and I put all of those in there. I have my profit and loss statements and my income expenses. So when I go through and I'm looking at, okay, what are my expenses that were business related for the month, and I'm just making things easier for my CPA. I'm putting logos in there. I'm putting the podcast logos, my business logos, our signature logos for our emails. I'm putting in podcast notes, things that I'm doing for the podcast. If I'm doing a training for, because a lot of things related to notary business, I'm asked to be a part of it, and I'm asked to do trainings, and I'm asked to just help and contribute. So I have created presentations. I have some things in here for my RON. I have like my RON certifications. I have emails that I send to people when I have an appointment coming up, giving them notes on what to expect for the RON closing. I've got pictures of the van in case, because I'm recording it. It's an awesome mobile office setup. So I've got pictures of that I have in here. I've got other folders that we're working on, like payment follow-up, where my bookkeeper's like, hey, these are the companies that haven't paid yet for outstanding invoices. So I have that there, right? I have notes for social media that I'm going to put on. I've got, oh my goodness, so many things. I've got a list of companies that I want to go market to. So that's in here as well. And it's in my Google Drive. It's a Google spreadsheet. And then I can pull that up on my phone while I'm driving. But okay, who's in this area? Who can I go visit? Who can I go market to? I have some follow-up places too. Let's see what else I've got in here. There's so many things. I just want to go into all these. Okay, I've quick notes for notaries in certain areas. Like, hey, I want to use these notaries. I got some Spanish terms. So if I run into a notary that speaks Spanish, but they have some questions, I can say, hey, here's this. I've got a lot of different things. Now, I can star these, the ones that are very important. And so my schedulers have what we call our starred. You can put stars on them, and you can go to a starred section of Google Drive. So these are invoices when we create invoices for our clients. These are contracts from our notaries that they send us their contracts and their ACH forms so we can pay them. These are the documents we get. So here are the hey, Peak Signing, here's the documents for the closing. Great. We save those for a little while, and then we delete them after a while. But we save them in case we need them. Time cards for my schedulers. This is their time cards. This is where this is what time they clocked in. This is what time they clocked out. They took a break. Whatever. They put their time cards in. We have a fee schedule. So especially for my new schedule, okay, this is how much we charge for each client for this and this and this. So it's a fee schedule. We have a thing for IDs, right? Because a lot of notaries will just send us pictures of IDs and we need copies of IDs. I created a folder where they take the picture that we were sent, we put it here and it creates a PDF. So we send it to our client, here's a copy of their IDs. We've got instructions, a lot of templates actually. We have a lot of templates. So we're giving instructions, we're giving notes, we're giving special instructions for notaries, and these are a lot of templates. So it's a lot of copy paste. We have a lot of copy. So Google Drive is a lot of copy paste stuff to make my job for my schedules easier. So I'm not typing everything out. It's like, hey, let's copy this, let's paste it, and just put a couple little notes in there. So anyway, that is Google Drive. This is what we do day to day. So this is why I like Google Workspace. Let me share with you all what we have up every day. This is how we schedule. This is how we have our computer set up. These are all the tabs. First thing they do, my schedulers come in, they open up the email. That's the very first thing. That's how we communicate. Email is the most important tool that we communicate with. So they open up the email. They open up my email and they open up their scheduler email. Because I want them to also look at my emails, because if it's something very simple, I want them to respond to that. I want them to take action on it. But if it's something for me, I just tell them leave it unread because, again, I have it on my phone. I have email, I have the Gmail on my phone. So if I get any messages, I can look at it on my phone. And if I notice they haven't responded to an email, that triggers for me as a signing service owner, hey, I need to follow up. Why did they not respond to this email? What's taking so long? Are they busy? Do they need my help? Or is it something for me to respond to? So anyway, they have my email open. They have the scheduler email open. Then for day-to-day use, they don't have all these tabs up. For day-to-day use, they have the calendar. That's the second important tool of us. We follow that calendar to a T. Okay, here's the signings. Do we have documents? Do we need documents? Have they finished the signing? Did we get scan backs? Like, we use that calendar like crazy. Email and the calendar are the most important. And then they have Google Voice up. So if we have phone calls coming in, if we have text messages coming in from notaries or clients, we can respond to all of that. So any of us can respond to that. And that's what they have up day to day. Email, calendar, Google Voice, and the Drive, because we're using the Drive a lot for sending notes, getting documents, sending special instructions, things like that. So those 5 tabs are always open on their computers. The 2 emails, basically you just say email, calendar, Google Voice, and the Google Drive. Those 4 or 5 tabs are always up, and that is how we run our business. Everything's on the computer. Nothing's on their cell phones, just on my cell phone. All the apps are on my cell phone. But if I was just only a signing agent, this is how I run it. This is how I've been running my notary business from the beginning. I've been running it this way. All right. That's what I'm doing. I just want to share that. I hope that brings value. I hope that makes things easier for you, whether you are running a signing service, whether you plan on running a signing service in the future, or if you're just a self-employed signing agent, that's totally fine. Maybe there's some things here that will help you run your business much more smoothly. I hope it does. And if it does, again, please follow, subscribe, share, comment, whatever, and I'll get back to you. Good news, me and my signing agent friends are going to be doing one-on-one notary coaching with you. That's right. We're going to rotate. One of us coaches every week will be on a Zoom call. We're going to answer all of your questions. Then throughout the week, you can send us messages. We'll respond and answer all your questions that you might have. And then at the end of the week, a new coach will come on and give you coaching. This is going to be revolutionary. If you're interested, go to the show notes and click on my one-on-one notary coaching link, and I'll see you there. Again, thank you again for watching and listening to another episode of the Peak Signing Agents podcast. I'm helping you become a peak signing agent, a peak notary public, because we are important. And don't forget, you are important. Our role, our job is very important. And all of us play an intricate part of that. And we have to show the value that we're worth by always providing a really good job. And the tools that I'm providing you today will help you stay organized, help you look professional, and stay very important. All right. Keep being awesome. I will catch you on another episode. Bye.